Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Coffee with Chris, the podcast on which I share my life with you and answer any questions or talk about the subjects that you want me to talk about. So, if you've got any questions, concerns, subject ideas, whatever it might be, leave it in the comments down below and I'll get to it as soon as possible. I try to make a new episode every single day, so it probably won't be long until I get into it. With that out of the way, welcome to today's episode. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about how failure is also healthy, because yesterday I talked about the small successes, and so this morning, and this is the dumbest thing, because yesterday, like I said, I talked about the small successes and how important they are. Well, this morning I experienced a bit of a loss, a failure. I woke up, I made my bed, like I've said that you should. Just start your day by making your bed and pulling off your curtains and letting some sunlight in. All of those things. Well, as soon as I picked up my phone, I noticed that a game had been installed for me. One that I'd pre-registered for. I have a tendency to just kind of pre-register for random things that's like, oh, that looks colorful, or maybe. And, I don't really have a reason to pre-register for most of them. So it's my little gift to myself. Now, the problem is that these things often get installed at night, so I wake up to them. And I woke up to a notification telling me that, hey, this game has been installed on your phone. Okay, fair enough. I check it out, and I ended up spending the first hour of my day just playing that game. Completely draining my phone's battery too, by the way, because it was low already. I don't charge it at night, I charge it when necessary, So it's charging right now. But it took some willpower to pull away from that game, and that's not a great start to the day, right? But then again, failures and setbacks, they're important too. They're just as important as the small victories. Those times where you forget things. For example, I tried to make Nightcore for this channel too. Well, again, I keep calling it Nightcore, but I don't know if I can really call it that, since it's just, my attempt at fiddling around a bit. I'll get better, I promise. But, also, I forgot the other day, and that's a failure. But that failure is going to help me remember next time. This failure where I wake up, I see a notification on my phone, and then I immediately start playing instead of doing the things that I should be doing. It led me to think maybe I should keep it on Do Not Disturb, because I put my phone on Do Not Disturb at night. By the way, that is a smart move, so you don't get, disturbed. But then I turn that off in the morning in order to get the notifications and check them. Well, my thinking right now is that maybe I shouldn't do that until I've already gotten started with my day. Now, I'm not the kind of person who actually receives anything super important. And if I do receive something important, it's usually on my professional email. And so that is always open on my computer, which means I don't need to check it on my phone. Now, I've also been thinking that maybe I shouldn't sit in front of the computer first thing in the morning. I've actually been thinking that maybe I should read first thing in the morning. I know Spanish. I speak Spanish pretty decently. But the issue is that I don't get to train it enough. I don't get to practice it enough. Though I do plan on studying half a year in Spain. That's still quite a bit away, and I want to get even better before I reach that point. So my thinking on that part is actually to do that first thing in the morning. But that would conflict with this routine. So I gotta work something out. Though the essence of it all is maybe leave Do Not Disturb on until at least a few hours into the day, until I've done my podcast, until I've read some Spanish. And that's, the reason I say that I want to read and stuff is not just because I want to practice, it's also because I've gotten into the habit that the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, aside from making my bed now, of course, and going to the bathroom, brushing my teeth, I do all of these things. But after that, after my routine stuff, the next step of my routine is to sit in front of my computer. And I don't think that's necessarily good. Maybe my routine should include going outside for 5 minutes, getting some fresh air, or sitting in the sofa that's right behind me and, just relaxing for a little bit before I start my day out in front of the computer. And that's what I mean when I say that the failures and defeats, they're important too, because they are learning opportunities. By failing this morning, it forced me to think about how I do things and how I'm supposed to do things in the future. It forced me to improve my life. Now, some of you that are listening to this might be thinking, well, it didn't technically force you to do anything. And that's true, it didn't. But given how I want to create a better life for myself, it did. I'm forcing myself because of it, because I want to make a better life for myself. And it doesn't actually require that much willpower. You don't need to decide on all the things that you gotta do in order to improve your life. You just gotta decide that you want to improve your life, and then take it from there. Take the failures in stride and celebrate the small victories. Because there will be a lot of small victories, but there will also be a lot of failures. And that's where most people stumble. It's when they experience the failures and they think that means they have failed. No. So it's the whole idea that some people believe they need to be able to run a marathon in order to be healthy, right? For some reason, people tend to think that they must be in shape. But what about getting in shape? What about the process to getting there? Now, most people, even those in shape, can't run a goddamn marathon. But some people, they take these 5K running courses and stuff, and they set that as their goal, to run a 5 kilometer. And that's a great goal, don't get me wrong. But it's a long way. It's 2 months, and that's if you perform impeccably. What if you're not in that great shape to begin with? All of a sudden, it might be 2.5 months. Then you miss a couple of running sessions, so you need to make up for that. It just suddenly becomes 3 months. And that'll make you feel like you're never really achieving your goal. But do you have any idea what happens when you try? You get up. So there's a reason that these courses are called Couch to 5K. It's because you're a couch potato, right? Well, maybe you're not, but some people are. And the people that want to do these things, they often are couch potatoes. What they fail to realize is that as soon as they get up from the couch, they have already expended more energy than they previously would have. If you always just sit around on the couch watching television, the moment you get up from that couch, you have spent energy that you wouldn't have otherwise spent. Now, if you go put on your running shoes and you go out and just walk for 5 damn minutes, then you've already succeeded by a lot, but you don't celebrate that success. And when you can't get your ass out of the couch, you see that as a victory, as a failure. And it's a major failure. It's not just you failing to get up that one day or that one time. It's not, I'll try tomorrow. No, it's, I couldn't do it, and so I should just give up. Don't give up. Keep going. You've already been walking, running, getting up from the couch. Whatever it is you do, celebrate the victories and appreciate the failures. The other day I talked about the push-ups that I do, right? I do 1 push-up. Today is the first day I do 2 push-ups because it's been a week. It's still ridiculous. I'm still gonna feel stupid. Because once this podcast is over, I use this as a trigger habit, by the way. So once I start exporting to a file format that can be uploaded, that's when I have to do my push-ups. That's another helpful thing, and I'll get back to that as soon as I'm done shaming myself a little bit. It's embarrassing, really, to make this, not upload, but export, get out of my chair, clear the floor, get down, do 2 push-ups. I can do 2 push-ups. I feel ridiculous. But, it's the habit that's building. That's a victory. And every single day I do it, I do more push-ups than I would have done otherwise. I do more push-ups than you, right? You might actually be one of those people who just pumps out push-ups. But the average person doesn't do a whole lot of push-ups, right? Now, I, of course, immediately forgot what it was I said that I was going to get back to once I was done shaming myself. That's, I guess, again, the ADHD at work. My mind just flies away, forgets all about it. Give me a quick second to see if I can recall it, and otherwise I'm just moving on. Yep, nope, I'm blank. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is that you need to celebrate your victories. You need to celebrate the small things, and you need to forgive yourself for the small things too. So when you fail, it's not that big a deal. It really isn't. You fail today, but what if you've succeeded for the past 7 days? Now, when I forget to do something, I either make up for it, or I think, okay, I will do it tomorrow. I'll be more aware of it tomorrow. And that's what you gotta do. Trigger habits. There it was. Right. I was gonna talk about trigger habits. That's an important subject. Because one of the hardest things to do is get started. And that's no joke. It's a psychological, and I think it's even a biochemical thing, that getting started is the biggest barrier you'll face. Most of us can actually run pretty far and are in decent shape, all things considered. But to get up from the couch, that's the difficult part. To gather the willpower. And that's where trigger habits come in. So if you already have a habit, which you do, we all have habits. We all have routine stuff that we do. Connect it. So maybe you want to drink more water. It's hard to remember to drink more water if you're not used to it. Well, you eat food every single day, don't you? Use that as a trigger. When you start preparing your food, whether you heat it up in the microwave or you cook it or whatever you do, when that action happens, you drink an entire glass of water. Then you refill that glass of water and you bring it with you when you eat. There, you are now using cooking or preparing food or even just getting food as a trigger habit. And it can be, you gotta figure it out, because if you're just walking out into the fridge, grabbing something and then eating it, it might not be the best trigger habit, because, you'll just end up being like, oh, I forgot again. It's better if you put something in the microwave, for example, and then I'm gonna need to drink water now that it's in the microwave. That's a good way to do it. For me, my entire day starts on routine normally. Wake up, make my bed, pull the curtains, go to the bathroom, I have a morning pee, I brush my teeth, and then I go in here, I start the computer. And that's where I want to change the habit. But then I launch my programs, Audition and Premiere Pro, and I go make my coffee. Now, sometimes these routine things get kind of mixed up. Sometimes I make my coffee first and then go in and start the computer. And sometimes I end up playing on my phone. Things happen. They really do. But it's all about just trying. And what I've found personally is that early routine helps me. So I'm better in the morning than I am in the afternoon or in the evening. Figure out when your habits work best for you. Where do you have the most habits? And then grow outwards from there. Because that's honestly the way to do it. Think about it. I used my podcast, because that's another thing, right? I go prepare my coffee. Then when my coffee is ready, I do my podcast here. When I'm exporting it, I do my push-ups. Then I listen it through while I do whatever. So I try to use that time to upload products to the store that I'm creating, but it's not always a success. And that's where I'm building a habit. I'm trying to create a habit here. Sometimes I end up playing. Sometimes I end up doing absolutely nothing or going to the bathroom again because coffee runs through me. But the point is that I try. And I'm building outwards. I used to just get up. That was what I did. I woke up and I got out of bed. Then I brushed my teeth. Okay, that part has always been there. But those two were actually the only habits that I had. And now, after just 2 months, well, almost 3 at this point, I've actually created some decent habits. Making my bed, doing a couple of push-ups, starting today at least. Can't really say a couple when I've only been doing one. But I've still been doing push-ups every day for a week. I saw this poll online, and it was like, how often do you work out? Exercise or something like that. And I laughed to myself because one of the options was every day. And I was like, well, technically, I work out every day. And that just made me feel an extra bit of success. And I have dreams. Just like everybody else, I have big dreams, actually. I'm one of those people, I wouldn't want to be a billionaire. But I'd like to have I'd like to be what I call guacamole rich, which is that I don't really have to worry about whether or not I want guacamole with my nachos. Like, can I afford that? I want to not have to think about buying a steak dinner for my girlfriend and I. So that's the level of rich I want to be. I just want to be comfortable. And I know that's still big dreams, but I'm building towards that. Unfortunately, it'll take years, decades, but I'm prepared for that. And I'm doing it now. I'm following my dreams, but I know that I can't jump straight into them. And if you can recognize the same thing, that you can achieve your dreams, but you can't just reach out and grab them, you need to get there first, then you're already, pretty far ahead of a lot of people that have either given up on their dreams or are just blindly chasing them. Make a habit. Celebrate successes. Forgive failures. Keep moving forward. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.